everybody, welcome to Heartland Church Online.
We are so glad that you're joining in with us today.
And for those of you who are new to Heartland, we would love to connect with you. And so if you would just text the words Heartland Connect to the number 33777, somebody from our team will follow up with you as soon as we can and would love to get connected with you and help you take a next step in your Heartland journey.
Well, this is week 3 of what we have kind of started off as our watch parties. So it's hello to all the watch parties out there. And even if you're not in a watch party, that's okay. We're so glad that you joined us today. But if you did register for a watch party, this morning there is one watch party that is being able to be serenaded by Brent and Delaney. So like right now, you may be having a furry concert in your lawn by Brent and Delaney. We're actually going to have film footage of that next week, so be sure to tune in for that. But we love being able to gather, and of course, as always, at the end of the service, we're going to have questions for you to talk about with your watch party or just whoever you're watching it with, so be sure to stick around for that.
Right now, we're going to get started as we do every week with worship, and so Delaney and the team are going to get us started today. We will let them now take it away.
And I was buried beneath my shame. Who can carry that kind of a weight? It was my tomb till I met you. And I was breathing but not alive. And all my failures I tried to hide. It was my tomb till I met you. Oh, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Oh, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, oh, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Now your mercy has saved my soul. Oh, and now your freedom is all that I know. The old babe knew Jesus when I met you. Oh, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day. Oh, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, oh, out of the darkness into your glorious day. As we sing through this bridge together, just declare these words over your life, because God is good and He is always here for us. Let's just sing this out. I needed rescue, my sin was heavy, the chains break at the weight of your glory. I needed shelter, I was an orphan, now you call me a citizen. When I was broken, you were my healing. Now your love is the air that I'm breathing. I have a future, my eyes are open, 'cause when you call my name, I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness into your glorious day.
What's up, Heartland? Happy Sunday, or whatever day you are happening to watch this. Hello to all the watch parties out there. So glad y'all are getting together. If you're not in a watch party, start one, join one. Love to encourage you to do that. I'm so excited to be speaking with you today. This is my first time preaching in our brand new set, which I refer to often as the alien autopsy room, because that's kind of what it feels like to me. Not that I've ever been in one. No, I haven't really, but we got two cameras. We got a camera over here. What's up? All of you people watching over there. Okay, we'll come back here. Welcome to week 3 of our series entitled Plot Twist. I am a huge fan of plot twists. I love any kind of story medium, whether it's like movie, TV, book, video game, podcast. I'm all about good story. I love a good plot twist. Some of my favorite movie plot twists, just a drop in the bucket because there's many of them. The Others is so good. Holy cow. If you like kind of creepy thrillers, Nicole Kidman, that one is an amazing plot twist. Classics include, of course, Planet of the Apes. Are you kidding me? The Statue of Liberty. Oh, I just ruined it. Sorry. The Empire Strikes Back. You know, Darth Vader, actually he doesn't say, he's misquoted. He doesn't say, Luke, I'm your father. He says, no, I am your father. Go rewatch it. It's a whole Mandela effect. There's a rabbit hole for you. The Prestige is one of my favorites. Christopher Nolan, classic. He's so good. Unbreakable. And then maybe the greatest plot twist of all time, The Sixth Sense. Are you kidding me? At the end or in the middle with the kid and Bruce Willis. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And tons more, so many more. So far in this series, Plot Twist, we've talked about the plot twists of going from lost to called and going from stressed to peace. Now, a phrase we've been using for the series, kind of our theme, has been life is not a burden to endure, it's a story to live. And like any good story, there's going to be plot twists. We are all telling a story in our lives, and all good stories have unexpected twists and turns. And right now in history, we are all smack dab in the middle of so many plot twists of what we might have thought 2020 was going to look like. And these twists tend to take time to walk through. When there's an unexpected change, we can't just flip a switch and skip all the possible uncomfortable change or transition. Instead, as we're talking about in the series, we embrace the twist and learn how to live in the middle of that plot twist in the way that God has created us to live, with calling and with peace. Author Donald Miller once said, meaningful stories have lots and lots of conflict. If we avoid conflict, our stories won't be meaningful. And so in this series, we are embracing the plot twist and saying, Lord, how can we live the best life possible in this plot twist? Because life is not a burden to endure, it's a story to live. Another way I've thought about this phrase is a well-known phrase that I'm sure you've heard of before, which is, it's about the journey, not the destination. And let me tell you, I am somebody who hates this phrase because I am 100% a destination guy, not a journey guy. I am all about let's skip the journey and get to the end, get to the destination. When I drive, I'm always picking what's the best, not dangerously, but if safely, what's the quickest lane, where's the shortest line at the red light, if it's safe, I want to get in that lane. When I golf, I love golf, it's my golf hat. I love golf, but for me, it's some people when they golf, they're like, I just love the walk down the fairway and the birds and the trees and the nature. I'm like, no, I hit the shot. I'm already out. Okay, let's get there. Let's walk quick. Let's drive the car. Okay, I got 130, got the wind coming out of here. So I'm just all about wanting to get there. One of the things that I don't understand, and it's kind of become popular during quarantine, which makes sense. People want to get outside of the house. But literally one of the worst things I could think of doing is just going for a walk. Because you just go and walk, and then you're just back where you started. It's like Jerry Seinfeld talks about horse racing. He's like, the horses must be so confused when they get to the finish line because they're out of breath going, this is where we started. Why were we in such a hurry? Why were you whipping me? We could have just stayed here and been first. So I totally get that. I'm like, why go for a walk? Let's just get there. Let's just stay here. We can talk here and not have to. Anyway, shopping is a big one. Man, when I shop on my own, I am in and out of Woodman's with a full cart of groceries in under 20 minutes. It's amazing. If I go with Lynn's or anybody else, it's at least 3.5 hours. And I'm like, why is this taking so long? This isn't about the shopping. It's about being done shopping. It's about the groceries, having them back at the house. I remember when I got married, the two biggest adjustments I had to make were accepting that bobby pins were a huge part of my life. I don't know what they do, but they are everywhere. They're on the floor, and the vacuum, and in the bed, and shower. There's so many bobby pins. And the second adjustment I had to make was when walking anywhere with Lindsay, slowing my pace to what felt like a snail's pace so that we could walk together. Because I'd be walking and stop and turn around, and she's like 6 blocks behind me. So anyway, I am all about the destination, not the journey, and I hate the idea. But I hate this phrase, it's about the journey, not the destination. I hate it because I acknowledge the truth that it is 100% true. Although it's frustrating for me, it is 100% accurate. Life is about the journey, not the destination. Life happens on the journey. Change happens on the journey. Transformation happens on the journey. God is found, God is present, God is working on the journey in the middle of the plot twist. I once heard someone wise say that God is doing things on the journey that are necessary for the destination. Meaning, if I got what I wanted, if I could just skip the entire journey and just arrive at the destination, I wouldn't even be ready for it because God hadn't had time to prepare me on the journey. So I am learning to embrace the journey, learning to embrace the plot twist. It's a little bit like watching a sports game. We watch sports, of course, when sports were missing, we were like, our life is meaningless, we need sports. So now that they're back. But you watch a sports game because you want to experience the 3-hour game. Yes, of course, the end result is, what really matters in the end. But there's a reason teams don't get together and be like, all right, you guys ready? We're ready? Great, we're going to flip a coin and just see who wins so we don't have to play the 3-hour game. It's like, no, we want to experience the journey to the end. That is what I'm learning to embrace on the journey of life, on the plot twist of life. As John mentioned, this first part of the series, all of us are right in the middle of this journey, in the middle of this plot twist. And so today, I want to talk about the plot twist of going from urgency to patience. Going from urgency, this sense of hurry, got to speed up, got to get through it, something I deal with on a daily basis, to instead embracing patience in the middle of the journey, in the middle of the plot twist. Now, even if you're unlike me, even if you enjoy the journey, please come teach me because I want to be more like you. All of us definitely live in a society that does not teach us to be patient. If anything, our world is teaching us to more and more get whatever we want with as much urgency and immediacy as humanly possible. We have things like cell phones and social media, Amazon Prime, on-demand, streaming services, fast food, food delivery, buying stuff with our thumbs, flying on airplanes, news alerts, notifications. All these things make everything instantaneously at our fingertips. Now, I'm not saying any of these things are bad. I, in fact, think most of them are very, very good. But my point is simply that urgency is the daily world that we live in. That if we want something, we can and should be able to get it right away as fast as possible. So when it comes to having to wait, when it comes to having to be patient, our patience muscle, at least mine, tends to be very, very weak. Now, in talking about wanting to go from urgency to patience, I want to talk about a key reason that I believe we might tend to hold on to the sense of urgency, and in doing so, experience stress and fear and anxiety, etc. I believe one of the main sources of our impatience is when we realize, whether it's conscious or subconscious, realize this fact: we are not in control. We are so accustomed to being in control of almost everything. Like I mentioned, if we want something, we can control the outcome, how fast we get it. So when we suddenly realize we are not in control, I believe that's when we strive for even more urgency. Because in today's day and age, if we're hungry, we can get food. If we're unhappy with something, we have customer service, complaint departments, and helplines to immediately solve it. If we're late, we can speed and or call with a cellular telephone to say the car wouldn't start or I got stuck behind a combine. That's sort of my go-to here in Wisconsin. Usually works. We have these things and so much more at our disposal, giving us an incredible amount of control of our day-to-day lives. What we need, things that we want to get done, they can happen right away. We are in control of it. We can take care of it right away. And again, I believe a huge reason we might find ourselves in the middle of intense anxiety, intense stress, or urgency is because we discover while we are in control of some things, there is much, much more that we are not in control of. Life happens. Plot twists happens, nature happens, other people with free will make decisions that directly affect us. We might be in control over things within our own tiny little circle, but outside of that, we have very little control, if any, of the vast majority of these lives that we're living. And I think, again, consciously or subconsciously, when we realize, hey, I'm not in control of this, we suddenly strive to hold on to the sense of urgency. Well, I need to make it happen. I need to get it done because I want it, because I need it, because it's what I'm accustomed to, and that leads to stress, anxiety, as we try to live in this sense of urgency instead of patience. However, I would like to submit to you this idea, that the more we're able to release control, the more patient we actually can be. The more we can realize and grasp the truth that there is so much more we are not in control of, the more patient we'll actually become, because we don't have to live in urgency or pressure to try to get something or make something happen, because it's simply out of our control and we've accepted that. The more we understand we're not in control, the more freeing I believe it can be. A great illustration of this is any of you who have gone from being a kid on family vacation to being an adult, a parent on family vacation. When you're a kid on family vacation, it's so much fun. You're totally free because you don't have to control anything. The only thing you have to do is talk about what ride you want to go on next, having fun, complaining about having to go to the bathroom, asking when you'll get there, demanding to go on that ride or eat at that restaurant. But as a parent, suddenly you are in control of everything. What time to wake up, getting to the airport early, making sure the kids are all packed, getting gas, getting food, how much food costs, and a billion other things. I read a tweet a while ago that said, me as a kid, why is dad always mad on vacation? Me as a dad, oh. Vacations tend to be so much more fun as a kid because they've released all control and simply accepted what's going on and what's happening. And this is something that I have learned intensely over this past year. Ava's accident last August was such a fluke, crazy thing. I mean, she fell off a golf cart in our neighborhood that she'd been on a dozen times before, going 6 miles an hour, 2 feet off the ground, had this incredible brain injury. And Lindsay and I, in talking about it, we're like, wait, there's actually, in fact, there was a story just last month of a gentleman who was in a plane crash, suffered a brain injury, but now is healing and is fine. Like, there's stories of people falling off of water towers and spraining their wrist, or their parachute didn't open and they're fine. They just broke an ankle and that's it. And yet Ava's accident, this crazy fluke thing with one of the most intense brain damage that her neurosurgeon have ever seen. Some people that might make them frustrated and mad. And for sure, I've gone through those days and moments and seasons intensely. However, the fact that it was such a crazy fluke thing, I believe was God's grace, because He used it to teach me, hey, I am not in control. Now, I'm not saying any of this to make life sound scary or just, blindly out of our control. Anything's happening, it's terrifying, we should all be afraid. I'm not saying it for that. I don't want to also minimize any of the miraculous stories of people who have survived incredible things. That's wonderful, that's amazing, not at all. I'm simply saying this to illustrate that for me, it has taught me I am not in control. Now, yes, we should be wise. We should wear helmets and wash our hands and wear masks and be intentional. Yes, of course, we should listen to the wisdom of experts in history in our community to be intentional, to be wise, to take every step possible that we can. But at that point, after that point, we simply need to release any sense of overall control, because for the majority of life, for the majority of our day-to-day, we are not. Trying to hold tight and maintain control over stuff that we are not in control of is simply going to lead to this manic sense of urgency, of us trying to control what we can't, which is why Jesus says in Matthew 6:27, says, can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And if we strive for this urgency, desperately trying to hang on to little control, how is that going to add anything to our life other than stress, anxiety, fear, etc.? We can do everything right. And again, we should. Be wise, be intentional. Take all the precautions, and yet also realize we are not in control. And when that happens, all we can do is simply let go, release control, and be patient. And that patience, instead of being frustrating, is simply freeing, peaceful, hope-filled. As I said, it is the grace of God that Ava's accident was such a fluke thing, because it has helped me realize that I need to release control of so many things that I thought I might be in control of, and trust and wait and be patient, which has brought me so much freedom and so much peace throughout this journey. Because my life is not in my hands. Ava's life is not in my hands. Your life, your kids' lives, your job, your future, your safety, your security, your finances, it is not in your hands. Yes, be wise, take steps, do what you can, but all of it is in God's hands. Because if we're not in control, who is? Christ is the visible image of the invisible God. He existed before anything was created and is supreme over all creation. For through him, God created everything in the heavenly realms and on earth. He made the things we can see and the things we can't see, such as thrones, kingdoms, rulers, and authorities in the unseen world. Everything was created through him and for him. He existed before anything else, and he holds all creation together. And then in the book of Revelation, John, writing his vision of the end times, says, when I saw him, I fell at his feet as if I were dead, but he laid his right hand on me and said, don't be afraid. I am the first and the last. We're not in control, but he is in control of all of it. And he isn't just sovereign and in control of the universe, from the stars that are billions of light years away. He is also in control of you and me, of our daily lives, because we are his children, which he loves more than anything. Matthew 10:29, Jesus says, what is the price of 2 sparrows? 1 copper coin? But not a single sparrow can fall to the ground without your Father knowing it. And the very hairs on your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are far more valuable to God than a whole flock of sparrows. In Ephesians 1, the Apostle Paul says, furthermore, because we are united with Christ, we have received an inheritance from God, for he chose us in advance, and he makes everything work out according to his plan. Romans 8:28, for we know that God causes everything to work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose for them. His purpose is our lives. He is in control of the entire universe and the day-to-day seconds and moments of our everyday lives. We live with wisdom, we live with intentionality, but we do so with open hands in full surrender to the one who is fully in control, who loves us more than words can describe. So, right now, today, what is an area of your life that you find yourself having an unhealthy sense of urgency for? And with everything going on in our world, I'm sure it's easy to come up with an answer. Schools reopening, going back to work, getting a job back, getting a much-needed check in the mail, paying rent or paying off debt, seeing family and friends again, treatment for an illness, relational reconciliation, and a million other things. Where are you finding yourself with this desperate sense of urgency, trying to maintain control of what you cannot? Because I get it. I have felt a deep sense of urgency for the Lord to bring healing to Ava. Now, I obviously want him to do it in the next 10 minutes. Check my phone. No, it's not buzzing. Okay, it didn't happen. But he hasn't yet, and maybe he never will. Of course, it's something I want, something I'm praying for, something I believe God has called me to pray for, and something I'm believing in. But I also know it's not up to me, it's up to him because he is the one in control. And so in the meantime, I just have to be patient. I still pray. I still love her. I still spend time with her. I still hang out with her. We still seek the best medical care and specialists and therapists and medications that we can to make sure that she's happy and comfortable and as engaged and responsive as possible. We are intentional, we are wise, we are discerning, but after that point, we just be patient and wait. And as difficult as it is to wait, to be patient, as I said, I have found that this has brought me so much freedom and peace to simply relinquish control to the one I know who is in control, because he is faithful always. He is trustworthy always. He is sovereign over everything. He loves me more than anyone. He loves Ava more than anyone, and so I can practice patience. In fact, patience was something spoken over over Lindsay and I in Ava's hospital room like 3 days after her accident. One of the elders here at Heartland, Craig Steele, and his wife Kathy, he's been an elder for, this is 4th year, incredible man. They wanted to come pray over us and pray over Ava, and so they were in the hospital. And Craig specifically looked at Lindsay and I and spoke the word patience. He said, I just feel like God wanted me to tell you to be patient. And now later on, Lindsay and I were talking, and of course that meant so much to us, but we also were like, that was not the word we would have expected. We might have expected the word hope or miracles or persistence or something like that. But he spoke the word patience, and man, it was the exact thing that we needed to hear. I called Craig and Kathy this past week. I just wanted to, first of all, thank them for this moment and also ask him, just say, hey, what was God kind of impressing on you that you felt to speak the word patience over us, which has meant so much. And this is what he said. He said, moments after hearing of Ava's accident, he heard the Lord say to him, be still. Pray for healing, but wait on the Lord to act. He's got this. He'll take care of it. And man, I wish I was that wise. What was so funny is Craig's just an incredible man and just so loving and wonderful. And I actually have a picture of him when Phoenix was like 1 year old crawling around at the church. Craig got on his hands and knees and was crawling around with my son. And I was like, there's not a lot of church elders that would do that. That's pretty amazing. But what was great is in the hospital room, him and Kathy came, they spoke this incredible word that meant so much to Lindsay and I. And then we prayed, we said amen. And then Craig was like, all right. And he put on bunny ears and started reading princess books in a silly voice to Ava. This is a picture of Craig doing that to Ava. It was like this incredibly powerful moment. And he's like, okay. And then the frog said, anyway, he's a great dude, amazing man. So for any of you feeling trapped in the stress or fear or anxiety of urgency, you have the sense of urgency. My challenge to you is to let go, to surrender any idea of control and place it in the hands of the one who is in control. If you're finding yourself stuck in urgency, far from patience, I want you to hear God say to you what God spoke to Craig Steele, what God spoke to me, and now I speak to you, is be still. Pray, but wait on the Lord to act. He's got this. He'll take care of it. As John taught us last week in Plot Twist, Matthew 11, Jesus says, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. So, in closing, I have good news for you. You're not in control. Someone much wiser, much more sovereign, who loves you so much more than anybody else is in control. So, be patient. Be at peace. Until someday when we can celebrate the faithfulness of God, who is the sovereign Lord of all, because we practiced patience. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, you are a patient God. You demonstrate patience for us in your kingdom, that you are never in a hurry, never in a sense of manic urgency or stress or anxiety. And so, Lord, for those of us living maybe in this tension of urgency, trying to grasp and hold on to control that we know we don't have. Lord, I pray you would give us a supernatural injection of patience. God, I pray that you would give us the humility and courage to open our hands. What we've been trying to hold tight and grasp onto, we would open our hands and surrender it to you. We place it in your hands, knowing you are in control, you are sovereign, you have a plan and a purpose for our lives, for the lives of our loved ones, for our jobs, for our finances, for our future. And as painful and difficult as it might be to be in the tension of a plot twist, to be on the journey, not yet at the destination, I pray for peace as we are patient. And again, as I said, someday we will look back and celebrate all that you were doing, celebrate your faithfulness, celebrate your sovereignty. But until then, Lord, help us be patient. And in doing so, we would experience more of your presence, more of your power. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Well, thank you, Dugan. That was so good, man. So much to think about and process and talk about here, which we will be doing in our watch parties in just a few minutes. But before we do that, Ashley and I have some exciting things that we want to tell you about, different opportunities that you can get involved with the church and engage with us in our community. And even before we do that, I want to take the opportunity to say a huge thank you to everyone who continues to support the ministry of Heartland financially. The simple reality is that we would not exist if it were not for your faithful and generous contributions. And so thank you so much to everyone who continues to give online, who continues to give electronically, who continues to mail checks into the church here at 800 Wilburn Road in Sun Prairie. And then for those of you who want to, you can even text to give. All you have to do is text the words Heartland Give to the number 33777. And just lots of different ways to support the church financially. But thank you to everyone who continues to do that.
Well, like John said, we do have really exciting things happening as our fall is kind of coming this way. The first of which is on September 12th, Heartland Women are doing a virtual gathering point. So we started these back off in January, and so we're going to pick these back up in the fall. So you can register for that. What's really cool is that we are going to be providing some of the content that was a part of the IF gathering. So we've got a great lineup for Saturday, September 12th. Make sure you go online, you can register for that, and join us for a gathering point in September.
And then the very next day, on Sunday, September 13th, we will have our first in-person gathering in months.
We've missed you.
We are so excited. Our team is so pumped. We have been dying to worship with you in person again. And while this won't be the first weekly gathering in person, this will be the first time we gather in person in a long time. And so mark your calendars for an outdoor worship service on Sunday morning, September 13th, 9 a.m. You can go to our website, weareheartland.us, to get all of the information and to RSVP. We do want you to RSVP so we know who's coming and we can communicate with you if things change or we need to, for whatever reason, get in touch with you. So plan on going there to RSVP and get all your information. Bring lawn chairs. We're going to be outside. It's going to be an amazing time. We're so excited. And we're also excited because that's actually going to kick off a big initiative for us.
It is, and we are super excited to launch this. So on September 13th, we are launching what we're calling our Love Your Neighbor project. It is the heartbeat around here that we as a church would be good for our community. And so we've been thinking of ways, how could we just really kickstart this fall and not do something that's just for us, but that's something that we give back to our community. So beginning September 13th, we are kicking off a 2-week initiative called Love Your Neighbor. And there are so many ways to get involved. You may have gotten an email on Friday, but head to our website. There are ways to serve. There are all kinds of opportunities in Sun Prairie. We're serving breakfast to teachers and doing mobile food pantries and helping out with Porch Light in Madison, do some shelving projects and landscaping. Yep. There's also ways to just donate. So we're doing bike drives and food and supply drives and blood drives. So there's so many ways that you can come and give tangibly so that we as a community can give back. The cool thing is, if you register for one of those ways to serve, on September 13th, you can come pick up a Love Your Neighbor kit. And in that, we'll have a t-shirt, and we'll have a sticker, and we'll have an invite card for some other things that are happening. So be a part of our Love Your Neighbor project that is 2 weeks, kicking off September 13th, and we cannot wait to have you a part of it.
And then the plan is to wrap that up with another big event on Sunday, September 27th. So stay tuned for more details on that. But with that said, we are going to invite you to now now talk with your watch party group about the discussion questions that you're going to see on your screens. Then we'll see you back here on Wednesday evening for our next community chapel, and then the next Sunday as I get to wrap up the Plot Twist series. Already excited about what I think God's going to say to us then. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you later.
See you later.